All right, good morning, 6:30, May the 7th, for another safety focus of the week. As you can see here, we're seeing the active case rate in COVID in Vermont is really starting to head in the right direction for us. So keep up the good work. Call health and safety if there is a known close contact in your household, or if you were at a gathering and someone tested positive and you've been notified, just please call myself so we can trigger our action plans for how to mitigate any future exposure into ECI. This week's code of conduct is to respect the property of others. Ben, do you have anything to add on this code item this week? Did I surprise you on that one?
No, sorry about that. The sun's in my eyes. I had to find the unmute button. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, respecting the property of others. It's meant to include other employees as well. We've had issues with, sometimes people not respecting each other's. For example, I know it should be only in school, but we've had problems with other people's lunch boxes. That's their personal property. And as well as that, on many jobs nowadays, it's the property of the landowners who are adjacent to our work. Many times we're working in the right of way, and right at the edge of the right of way is someone's property. And oftentimes they have issues with the project that we don't know about till we get there and we set foot. So we always want to respect other people's property as if it were our own. And if there's any questions or issues, try to be respectful and try to eliminate the problem as fast as you can, and let the leaders know so that they can deal with it properly. Because oftentimes those things are a little bit gray.
Thank you, Ben. Excellent job this past week. Another 7 days without a recordable injury. So the day count is up to 155. So let's continue the strong 2021 season, as again we are opening up more projects and hiring on more people. Our exposures are going up. So remember, a good safe day starts with a good JHA, a good little team huddle before the work starts to identify our hazards and put up the proper controls to work safe each and every day. Remember to eliminate the unsafe acts and those unsafe conditions on your project. So this week we want to highlight it as poisonous plants, just an annual refresher. We do usually have roughly 5 cases a year of employees seeking kind of first aid and medical attention. I'll kind of talk about some of the ways to mitigate that in a little bit. But again, the biggest thing with poisonous plants is this identification. So when we start up these projects or show up to the project for the first day, when that risk assessment is, try to identify those poisonous plants. What is poison ivy? Again, it's these leaves of 3, very shiny, very pointy ends. Kind of, if you are uncertain, you might want to just hold off and ask the question. Even take a picture and send it to myself, and I can help identify it via just a quick text message. So it's kind of what it looks like spring, summer to fall. Right now, we're definitely more in the growth season. Things are starting to pop up out of the ground now, so it's a little bit more of a reddish hue before it really turns green in nice pointy leaves of 3. Another poisonous plant out there is poison sumac. It's a very symmetrical looking plant. Very pointy ends. Will have one leaf kind of at the end running parallel with the stem. Shoots right out the end, and then everything else, like I said before, is very symmetrical. Poisonous plants, here's a good example of poison oak. We don't have a whole lot of poison oak here in Vermont, but it's mostly sumac and ivy. Poison oak has those rigid leaves as they extend out. Almost they have some like 90-degree angles in poison oak. And the last one is wild parsnip. It kind of looks like goldenrod. The issue with wild parsnip is it's the oils that get onto your skin. If they don't get washed away, it kind of magnetizes on your skin, and you can get really bad burns from the sun. So the UV and the oils cause really bad skin burns. So it's not really like poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac, where it gets on your skin and irritates and you itch it and it spreads, or wild parsnip is more like a burn type of injury. So some ways to control, to mitigate, identify, and avoid contact: wear long sleeve shirts and long pants, tucked in your boots, and wear clothing or leather gloves if you need to be kind of in around it. Apply the barrier cream to the exposed skin. We have this available in health and safety and also in the tool crib downstairs. And then keep rubbing alcohol accessible. It removes the oil residue up to 30 minutes after exposure. So rubbing alcohol really works well for getting the oils off your skin. And remember to wash your clothes if you get in it. Sometimes though, that oil residue can really stay on your clothes for a long period of time, and you'll find yourself with poison ivy for a good solid month. I wanted to add as well, with kind of first aid response regarding the wellness program. This is something Champlain Medical can help with as well on the urgent care visit side of the wellness program. If you indeed jump into it, Champlain Medical can provide these mitigations of the steroid cream that really zaps the spread of poison ivy really in a matter of 2 to 3 days, where they can kind of prescribe you that, be free of charge for ECI employees if you're in the wellness program, if you do find yourself getting into it kind of more on the weekends versus on the projects. But again, if you do have some irritation that really needs medical attention, call health and safety and we can guide you in the right direction to help take care of and mitigate any further exposure to you. Any questions, contact health and safety regarding any safety issues out there, but watch out for those leaves. Leaves of 3 and the poisonous plants out there. It's a biological hazard for us. So let's just do our best to hopefully eliminate it from our job sites and stay aware out there. With that said, I'll kick it over to Ken now for the rest of our presentation.
Okay, thanks, Matt. You know, I always, when I recall having it when I was younger, I don't really get it anymore. It was always in the hottest days of the summer, and it was miserable. Also, I wanted to point out that I have on my phone an app called Plant Snap, and you take a picture of a plant, and it will identify it for you.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, yep. Very handy.
Okay, I'm gonna put the, oh, I don't see that. I thought I opened it already, but I will open it now onto my browser. Constant Contact. This one works. View in browser. Okay, do you see my screen?
We do, Ken. Yep.
Okay, great. Oh, it's a little weird how it is presenting. Let me try a different one. There we go. I thought I'd already opened it. For some reason, it didn't pop up. There we go. All right, that's better, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. All right, good. Well, I believe we're still on the healthcare premium. Must be pretty close to the end of that, but that was certainly a great little, positive thing for everybody on the healthcare program. And on the ECI primary care wellness program, we've talked about it a few times. You mentioned earlier, Matt. I think I just want to stress a couple things. First of all, that it's free. It's a great benefit if you don't have health insurance. It's also a pretty good benefit if you do, because you can offset some of the cost of, your deductibles and that sort of thing. And there's pretty good advice on how to save cost and to be healthier. But the key is you got to make an appointment and get in there so that they've got to have a baseline record for you. So let's see if you have any questions. I think the best thing you could certainly ask myself, Ben Dow, or Alberta, or Matt. But I think you could just make the call and get an appointment set up and really have a full-time, coverage here. Get in there and meet with CMUC or Champlain Medical Urgent Care and get them to, get you on into the program. So it's probably an hour's worth of time for an appointment to go in and get checked out. They'll do your blood pressure or some basic blood works, I would think, and depend on your age and all that. So that's what I got on that. But if you have questions, certainly ask. No new employees this week, but I know we got some lined up for next week. The weather outlook is looking okay. This was from yesterday, last evening, and it's showing, I'm not sure if this changed right, but it's a good weekend coming up. I think this is the right one. It just seems not right because it says Friday rain. But I also pointed out that it is the lawn mowing season here. So as many of you probably know. So we have the ECI COVID policy. So if you need a copy or need to refer to it, you can click on either link there, which is a document. And for this week, we're profiling the VTrans Williston STPM 5500 project, which is US Route 2, which is Williston Road, and Industrial Ave and intersection improvements. So we're contracted with VTrans for this intersection project located right in front of our offices on Williston Road. The first phase of our project is to replace the existing water line. There's 8, 10, 12-inch pipe, and it's also, I think, some 6-inch for hydrant services or hydrants and that sort of thing, and their services as well. Later phases in the work include highway reconstruction and realignment and widening of Route 2 and Industrial Avenue. There's a new traffic system. There's quite a few stormwater improvements, including an underground sand filter system at the outfall to Muddy Brook. And the project is also making use of our new remote control vibratory roller, which you'll see in some of these pictures. So you can see the extent of the project in this image. It goes all the way essentially from the town line at Muddy Brook, and then extends out Williston Road a little bit beyond the intersection, and then on Industrial Ave out past Avenue A. So this was one of the early images that you may have seen going down past Muddy Brook here earlier in the spring. Getting it looks like down there putting in some valves and stuff. And a portion of that was drilled. And then in front of the office and the geodomes there, got into regular production work with trench boxes, and there's our roller, the hydrant there and hydrant valve, picking a piece of the pipe up, dropping it into the trench, making up the joint, pushing it on. It's a poly sleeve type of cement line, ductile iron pipe. And then there's the vibratory roller. It's hard to tell in that picture, but it's a sheep's foot. It's actually being controlled from the cab of the excavator in this situation. It can be done by anyone. It's a little remote control, just a harness around your neck and joysticks and buttons. Another shot from further down the road. And a little backfilling last night just before they tucked everything in. And then this image shows the intersection improvements for the next phase of the work. See, it's quite an intersection. It will be quite an intersection. There's a double turning lane to Industrial Ave, a single out towards Williston Road and Taft's Corners, and fairly similar on the Industrial Ave side, except you got the 2 lanes plus an additional lane that will take the second lane turning off Williston Road. So pretty interesting project, and there'll be a fair amount of night work, so hopefully it's not too disruptive to the public. And that's what I got there. I also have in the photo archives the CWD, that's Champlain Water District, the river Cove Cross Tie, it's called. This is back in July 2012 on National Guard Avenue in South Burlington. So that cross tie goes from like over on the Airport Parkway side over to Essex. So it ties in their 24-inch transmission lines at 24-inch. So I'll turn it back over to you, Matt. Everyone have a good, safe day out there and enjoy this weather. And it looks like a great productive day for weather conditions.
Yes, thank you, Ken. Please let me know if you watched it with anybody so I can just get a good tally on this week's attendance. And let's start the day with a good JHA and contact Health and Safety if you have any further questions. Let's be safe today and have a great day.